And good morning on what is live this Saturday morning. A lot to talk about as you're riding with the king on the Howard Eskin show. And there really is a lot to talk about. And it's me and it's you. I'd love to have you join the show. There's kind of some interesting things to talk about. Uh, and I'm going to run them down for you. It's just your opinions certainly are important, and I'll always give you my opinion. I already see a comment. All this nonsense with trading Harper. I wouldn't have a problem with the Phillies trading Harper. However, that is not NOT for those of you that can't get to three letters. NOT not happening because he's got 6 years left. He's on the downside of his career. Still a good player, but you're not trading. You're not trading Harper. All right, so let's run it down. We're going to talk about the Eagles today, and the Eagles win on Sunday. I don't know if they cover the 7.5 number, but there's no way, zero chance the Eagles don't win on Sunday. Zero chance. It is a lock that they win the game. A lock. All right. And no way they lose to the Giants. It is, how difficult it is to lose to the same team twice in a 3-week span. That's why the NFL does it. They want those teams to split to try to keep everybody in the division close. Happens again to the Eagles at the end with Washington. But the Eagles will win on Sunday. We can talk about that. No A.J. Brown hamstring. I kind of understand that. It just if he's had hamstring problems. I I'm going to say this, and I don't know uh, what nitwits out there are going to jump all over me. I think Devontae Smith is a better wide receiver. That's not outrageous. Is a better wide receiver than AJ Brown. He's a little bit faster. They both have great hands. I know he's not as big, but he's tough. He gets hit. He gets back up. He's always out there and he's always playing. I think, but you're missing a wide receiver, so that hurts. But there's no way, zero way, zero that the Eagles lose to the Giants on Sunday. So we can talk about that. Uh, the media this week, well, is Brandon Graham going to play? Why didn't anybody have the balls to say that Brandon Graham was not going to play on Sunday? You can't play after really two practices. You can't play after being unretired, and all of a sudden, after months and surgery at the end of last season, after the Super Bowl, he's going to he's going to play. It was never going to play. So, but one of the things, and I'm going to ask your opinion today, since everybody wants to unretire, this nonsense. Somebody brought up. I saw a quote from Jason Kelsey. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was on his podcast. Uh, it's just, well, think about. He ain't thinking about crap. He's not thinking about coming back. He's lost weight. He was barely could get out of bed the day for a couple of days, and he couldn't get out of bed the morning after a game. He was so stiff and sore. Why do people just buy into this nonsense and this bull crap? It's just a joke. So what I'm going to do is I have a little exercise for for everybody this morning. What players would you like to see unretire? Since everybody is, talking about coming, not everybody, but there are people talking about coming back. I saw a couple of players from other teams that talked about it after Brandon Graham decided to unretire. What players would you like to see? It doesn't even matter about their age. I got a list of names here. What players, and I'll mention one. Eric Allen is being honored, I guess, as the captain on Sunday for the Eagles game. Hey, they need a corner, right? Hey, why not? Eric Allen's only 57 years old. Why doesn't he unretire? It's just, just bring everybody back. But what players would you like to see unretire? So we'll talk about that. And I don't know how many people watched the first game of the World Series. The Phillies are so far away from what I think are the best two teams in baseball, it's really ridiculous. I do not see, I do not see um, the Phillies competing with the better teams in baseball. Do you know last night? And if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you. Toronto, when they scored 9 runs in the sixth inning, I believe it was 12 batters they had to cut. They came to the plate. Not one, and there had to be 3 outs. Not one of those batters had a swing and a miss with 2 strikes. Not one. Not one. They batted around. I think there was 12 guys that came up. Not one player in that inning had a swing and a miss with 2 strikes. They had very few in the game. They only had, with all those hits, I believe they only had 4 strikeouts in the game. I'm mind boggling. That's the way you play the game. When I say, I don't know how many watch the game, baseball players don't usually watch other games. Football players occasionally, because if they're playing a team, they might watch just to get some thoughts on that. But baseball players don't watch the game. I bet you there weren't 3 Phillies players that watched the game of the game 1 of the World Series. Weren't 3. And it's certainly the guys that strike out a lot aren't going to watch that. That is the way you play the game. Hey, they had what, 3 home runs? I think it was 3 home runs. One was a grand slam. But with a grand slam, you had to have players on base. Those players got on base. They made contact. That's so unlike what the Phillies do. It's just so unlike what the Phillies do. It's sad. It really is sad. When you look at the Phillies team, they're a good team, but they're not good enough to win a World Series. And I don't know how they can change all these things. Uh, I just don't know how they can fix what they have to fix. You're talking about they're going to try to trade Bohm again. They're going to try to trade Castellanos. Bohm is the best contact hitter on the team. Great. Let's take him out of the lineup so we can have more strikeouts for the Phillies. All right. So we can talk about that. I'm telling you, it's sickening to watch the way the Phillies play. And it's disturbing. I'll say it's disturbing to watch the way the good teams play. And the Dodgers didn't have a good game last night. The Dodgers have only won one game. I think they've only won one game, or only one. I think they've only won one game of the first game of a playoff series. Only one first game. It's just, it is amazing. A team that has swept a series, when they played the next series, they're 0-5 in the first game. There's crazy things in that, but you get all kinds of numbers. Like basketball has all these ridiculous numbers. The scoring's changed. Nobody plays, especially early in the season. EJ Edgecombe had a really terrific first game for a rookie, but to compare him to Will Chamberlain is sickening. I mean, stop. Will you stop? Stop. Don't compare his numbers to Will Chamberlain as a rookie in his first game. Meaningless, 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 meaningless. Everybody just regurgitates and just throws up its numbers, which are meaningless in the NBA today. And then we can talk a little bit how stupid players are. By the way, Mark Lawrence will join us today. Take a look at the weekend football. How stupid players are who gamble in any way, shape, or form. Terry Rozier was making $26 million a year. $26 million a year. And he gambles on game. You know, I guess the word was allegedly he told with the prop bets. That's really, they think people can't figure this out, that they see funny bets on these things. To take the unders on him in one game, I think is what it was. And then Chauncey Billups getting involved with the mafia in fixing poker games. The hell are they doing? And the commissioner, who I think is one of the worst commissioners in sports, probably in the last 30 years, Adam Silver. Nice guy. It says all the right things. He said, what disturbed him with the alleged gambling is the integrity of the game. What about players that take games off? Isn't that integrity of the game? They're not hurt. It's load management, so you can't say it's load management. So they fake another. They say, "Well, yeah, it's just my fingernail hurts or my toe hurts." It's all such nonsense. It's just the integrity of the game. Hey, how about this? When you're talking about gambling, I was told at the Borgata in the sports book when Penn State played Oregon, one of the players bet 1.6 billion, not billion, million. What am I saying? Billion. $1.6 million on the money line for Penn State. 1.6 million. Now that guy's obviously got a lot of money. I get it. But one point, like, does it make any difference to him if he, like, what are you doing today? At 1.6 million, he bet on Penn State, and they not only didn't cover, they didn't win the game, as we all know now. So, hey Joe, what people do we have waiting? I want to try to take somebody before we get to Mark Lawrence. Uh, Oh yeah, you're right. I get so caught up in these things. Um, I got to tell you that this show is presented by Stillwell Financial Advisors. How could I forget Jeff Stillwell? He's so important to the show, and he's important to you. He certainly is important to you. Jeff Stillwell knows his stuff, investments, money, the changing times with money. Stillwell Financial Advisors and Jeff Stillwell, he is the guy. At number 732-343-0813. I mean, just call and see if you guys have, you know, some kind of thing that can get together. 732-343-0813. Also, I want to tell you, and it's not going to last much longer. Audi Westchester has financing right now on these new remodeled Audis, 3.99% financing, up to 72 months. When you look at financing for automobiles, that's really, that's probably half of what most financing is. Uh, New remodeled vehicles, the A5, the Q5, the SQ5, Q5 Sportback, the SQ5 Sportback, and the Q6 e-tron rear wheel drive. Audi Westchester, located 1421 Wilmington Pike, 72 months, 3.99% financing. It's a great deal. Check it all out, AudiWestchester.com. And you want to remodel your property. I know it's starting to get cold. Still some work that can be done. It's probably still right on the edge of if you want to do a pool so you have it ready for next year. Piazza Property Pros, 25 years of experience. They can do whatever you need to your property, whether it's landscaping, excavation, hardscaping, fencing, remodel your existing property. Uh, they can do a lot of really good things. And when I say 25 years of experience, they do not subcontract. Give Piazza Property Pros a call, 610 566 2608, 610 566 2608. Check it all out. Free consultation, which some people in that business do not give you a free consultation. Piazza Property Pros does. Check them out, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. So we do have some people up there. Did I see it? All right. Let's go to George. George,
King.
thanks for joining the show, George.
Hey, thanks for Wednesday night. I know that's a tough thing. I'm a pet owner. Had dogs and lost one a year ago, so I totally get it. Thank you for doing the show, man. That's
I know
hard.
it was. I needed something to try to take my mind off. The saddest part, and I'll share this with people, and I don't know. I had my hand on my little doggie Lila when her heart stopped, and I'll never forget that. But I'll never. I would have been so upset with myself if I wasn't there, and I wanted to hold her right till the end, and I knew when it was over because I could feel her heart stop beating.
Sorry, Howard.
It's a sad moment. That's one thing I'll never forget. But I'm really glad um, that I was there. It was important for me to be there with her. So
got the
it's
end of your
tough.
show from sunny Florida. I brought back the cold weather. Man, it's cold here. Holy
Yeah,
cow! Oh
it's
man,
cold.
forget.
So, all right. So let's run down. What do you want to talk? What do you want to touch on that I touched on earlier?
When I was away, I was hearing. I asked this rumors of Bryce wanting to be traded and everything else. I think
No. He never said he wanted to be traded.
Dombrowski wanted to put a bug up his rear. When Dombrowski talked at that conference, I don't think he was ripping Bryce. I think he was just a part of me was thinking Bryce needs to play better, and if he wants more money, he needs to show us that he wants.
Well, he's not getting
Him.
more money
Nah,
because they know the last 3 or 4 years of his contract, he's not even going to be worth what he's getting paid.
you see them signing. You mentioned this, and I think I might be jumping on board a little bit. I don't think they're going to sign Schwarber. Do you think they'll go for Alonso?
You know what? Here's the thing. No, I'll tell you why they won't get Alonso, because Harper doesn't want to go off first base.
Oh, jeez.
It's just the owner listens to Harper. I mean, Bryce Harper's still a good player, but come on. It's just, if you're going to play for the team, you should go back to right field. It helps their outfield. And Alonso would be good. Now, I would think I'll say there's a 2% chance they could sign Alonso and just tell Bryce, hey, Bryce, you're going back to right field.
Wow,
Hey,
2%.
by the way,
Holy cow, that's a low number.
It is a low number.
Wow.
And the news conference with Dombrowski and Rob Thompson was such a. They didn't say anything. One of the few people that watched the World Series last night was Rob Thompson, because he's home in Toronto, and he lives there. So how can you not watch? And he's the manager. But very few players watch the game. I tell you, they don't swing and miss. They don't swing and miss Toronto. Those are the two best teams in baseball.
I agree.
And the Phillies aren't close to those teams. I don't care how many wins they have. I don't care about the regular season. We know in sports, do you know the best team in almost every professional league, the team that has the best record almost never wins a championship?
Correct. You're right. You've said that many times.
So,
I like the Eagles some more, Howard.
There's no way. I don't want to lay the number, but there's no way, 0 chance the Eagles lose to the Giants. 0.
I think they got enough tape on Dart right now. 4 weeks is usually what you
nothing
need.
to do with it. They're playing them twice in 3 weeks. There's no way they're going to lose to them twice in a 3-week span.
I agree.
No way. So, it's really they're not going to lose. I don't know, and I don't know what the Phillies can do. If they trade Bohm, I think it's a major, major, major mistake. It's the only guy that, but I don't know what they're going to get for him. I don't know what they're going to get for him. And I think as far as Schwarber, I think they have to. The window is with these players. As long as you have these players, you're going to have to put Schwarber in the mix. Otherwise,
so you see them signing him.
I think they have to.
Wow. That's a lot of money. That's
a
lot of money for a DH, Howard. That's a lot of. I know it's not my money, but that's a lot of money.
Hey, listen, what are they going to do? Then what? He's the most productive guy in the lineup, and you don't even care about his strikeouts because he had 50 some home runs. It's just
bring the young guys up next year to put some young blood in there, and hopefully. I would have hoped they've got a different hitting coach. I know you don't like going after coaches. I'm about taking pitches here. You said it. You watched Toronto and Dodgers.
Yeah, but here's the problem: the Phillies players don't listen to the coaches.
You're right.
You're right. They have their own. They might a little bit. I'll tell you, one of the pitching coaches, I don't know who it was, hurt Painter when he started throwing a splitter. That's when he got the injury. He didn't need to throw a splitter. I don't know if he's as good. I don't think he had a great year in the minor leagues this year. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Every time they brought up his name after outings towards the end of the year, it sounded like he was getting lit up.
So, yeah. And then, and these players that gamble. I mean, what a bunch of idiots.
That I didn't get into. And I think there's going to be more names named, Howard. You've been around that, and I've been around that a while. I don't think those are the only 2 names.
There was already baseball. There was baseball players. There's going to be more. And with betting through sports books now, it's not through a bookie. It's so easy to track when you see all of a sudden, why is there that big a bet on prop bets? You kind of, I don't care if you spread it out all over the country. Like It's
And Adam
ridiculous.
Silver, before I let you go, if I remember correctly, said they investigated this and everything was fine. I
Well,
don't.
they couldn't prove anything. He didn't
Well,
say everything was fine. They said and they couldn't prove anything.
couldn't prove
But
anything.
I
Geez, you
mean,
got the FBI
Rozier
involved.
will never, ever, ever, ever again, the way I see it,
Play
play in the NBA. And Chauncey Billups, unfortunately for him, will never
done.
coach again.
I
Yep.
agree with you, and nor should they. Nor
Uh,
should they.
all right, George. You have a great weekend.
Talk to you, Howard.
All right. Thanks. All right. Um, Yeah, I want to give people what players, since everybody's going to try to, everybody, a lot of people are talking about unretiring. Let's bring anybody back. Hey, Clyde Simmons, 59 years old. So what? They need another rusher. Hey, there's an edge rusher out there that's only 43 years old and he lives in the area. Why not bring him back too? It's just, hey, listen, I love Brandon Graham, but he went out on top. I don't know. I don't know if he was. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know, but we'll see. All right. To take a look at the weekend football, and actually, I have some questions about these morons that the professional athletes that are betting their own sport and betting on or against themselves or their team is a joke. Let's have Mark Lawrence jump in. Mark, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm doing just terrific, Howard. How are you?
Good. Did you hear when I said somebody bet at the Borgata 1.6 million on the money line on Penn State against Oregon? Now, if a guy's got that kind of money to bet, why does he have to bet that kind of money? What does that money mean to him? I don't even understand why people would go that crazy.
Sort
In
of
fact,
like a mattress Mac kind of a situation. The guy from Texas who's got all that money and bets all the money for his customers, the furniture customers, and he wins, he loses, he doesn't lose sleep.
yeah,
But
but that's different. But he's betting it for the customers, and it's kind of
right,
a thing. I don't know what this guy, he's bet a few times. I don't know that any numbers ever gotten that high. 1.6 million on the money line on Penn State. They were only, I mean, they were only a 3.5 point favorite, I believe, against Oregon. So it's not like it's a lock because the coach sucked, and the team never really underachieved.
well, the juice on that bet, at 3.5 as opposed to at pick, it probably cost him like instead of 110, it probably cost him more like 150
Uh,
to do that. So I don't know if he risked 1.6 million or put up a million to win 1.6. Who knows what? But bad bet, obviously. It's in the rearview mirror at loss. But like you say, why would a person who has that kind of money make that kind of a bet?
Yeah, I mean, the money doesn't mean anything.
No.
I wouldn't think. All right, so and after we make you give us your games, I am going to ask you about these players. I mean, it's just you, somebody said there might be the last caller. There might be more players. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more players. It's mind boggling. It is mind boggling. All right, let's take a look at the. Uh, college football first this weekend, and it's not a terrible card, but it's not a great card. Who do you like?
Well, it's not the card we would expect this time of the year when we're knee deep into the meat and potatoes portion of the season. But like
Right.
you said, it's a decent card, and I'm going to focus on two winning teams that are underdogs coming off losses with revenge against opponents off of wins, and that's called a perfect set.
Okay.
When you have just that as a handicapper, you want your team off a loss, you want the other team off a win, you want to have revenge in the game, and that's exactly what you've got with two underdogs today that I think are live.
Okay. Let me just add awful loss if it's not their first one, though.
No,
Right.
no, no, just a loss, just setting up the game. Just
Okay.
in their last game, they lost, the other guy won, and you have the revenge, and you're the dog.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, first play is going to be Mississippi State taking 7.5 against Texas. Deeply disappointing Texas football team, who I think is going nowhere in the Big 12 conference right now. And this is the Mississippi State football team that you take a look at their numbers. My goodness, Texas last week beats Kentucky and loses by a 216 total yards in the football game. Incredible.
Wow.
Name and reputation type of a number here for Texas. You've got Mississippi State now 5-1 to the spread off a loss the last six
Hmm.
games. I think plus 7.5 for Mississippi State. They may win the whole game.
Okay. All right. Who else do you like?
That guy's going to be Fresno State taking 3.5 against San Diego State. And you've got San Diego State or Fresno coming off a 28-point loss coming in this football game. San Diego State wins their last game, or I should say, Fresno loses their last game, wins 135 yards. So it's backwards for them. Tough loss, but win the yards. You're going to come back on a live dog like this. Fresno State, home dog in this football game. I think it's a bad number. Fresno State plus 3.5.
Wow. All right. So, uh, teams that lose their first game when they're undefeated are not a good play the following week, correct?
No, they're called bubble bursts, and
Right.
generally, you kind of want things to go your way. You want to be favored when you lost that game, and you want to be favored again in the comeback because it makes it difficult to get back up, laying points in situations like that. But you've also got a situation here, I think, this week for a team that lost as a dog, and is it going to be a difficult comeback? And that's going to be Ole Miss in their football game they're playing. I think it's a bad situation for Ole Miss. Not only that, but the fact that they're playing an Oklahoma football team that is incredible defensively. They're the best defense in college football this year. Oklahoma is
Wow.
better than even Ohio State, whose defense looks like an NFL defense. But Oklahoma State has allowed every opponent a season low yardage mark so far this season. Oklahoma has. And people say, well, why is Ole Miss the underdog here? Well, there's a reason they're the underdog here. It's because of that Oklahoma defense, which is absolutely fierce. So I'm going to step in here with Oklahoma against Ole Miss today for one of those bubble burst situations.
All right. I noticed the Temple line. I think they were 6.5, maybe yesterday, the day before, and now it's down to 4.5 favorite on the road at Tulsa. Now Temple has had a nice season. They're playing well. Tulsa's a losing team. Is there any reason why you would see somebody putting, I don't know if it's smart money or what money that would move that line? It looked like 2 points from what it was yesterday.
Yeah, well, there's nothing to like about Tulsa at all, for sure. I mean,
All right. Yeah.
you know, they are now what Temple's always been in the past. It's just a real bad football team. Temple's at least come back up here right now. They're playing some pretty good football, and they're going to go bowling this year. Temple is. They cannot afford to lose a game like this to a team like that, and I don't think they will. I think this Casey Keeler, their head coach, is really a good head
Yeah,
coach.
he's done a nice job.
Yes,
Done
he's
a
done a
really
real
nice
nice
job.
job, and I think he'll keep them focused here. I think it's a bad move in the football game. I think Temple gets the win in the cover here.
Do you see anybody in a look ahead situation? Because now I guess there's so many look aheads. I don't know which one you would look at because you're in your conference play, especially the big conferences. Do you see a look ahead
Well,
situation?
I was looking at the card next week, and not a lot of meaty games again next week. I don't know what's going on, but I think if there's any one, it might be SMU, who's deeply heavily involved in their conference race in the ACC. They got Miami of Florida on deck next week.
Ooh,
And, that could be a look ahead. Now, they're going to lay points against Wake Forest, who is really not a bad football team at all. Wake Forest has won the yards each of the last three football games in a row, and they've been a really nice, quiet underdog here as Wake Forest. I think it's a bad spot here for SMU today.
yeah. I mean, I saw a promotion. ABC's doing the UCLA Indiana game, and they make it a build up. Oh, UCLA, Indiana. They forget the fact that Indiana's like a 26.5 point favorite. That game, Indiana must really be good. There's no way. I don't know if they're going to cover the number, but there's no way that game's going to be close.
Howard, Indiana is really, really good. And in fact, they're going to play Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. And if they beat Ohio State, I am not going to be surprised at all. This team, every opponent has scored a season low in points scored against this Indiana defense. And then they've got this juggernaut offense on top of it. This Mendoza, the quarterback, he's going to be a first round NFL draft pick. This team is loaded here, and it's all because of the head coach, Kirk Signetti, who there was a great line he said. People were asking him, well, why is this turnaround all about what have you done with this program? He says, the name is Kirk Signetti. Go to Wikipedia, look it up. I win,
Yeah.
which is what he does. He wins everywhere he goes, Kirk Signetti. And this football program is for real. They and Ohio State are the two big boys in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean Indiana, and nobody ever nobody ever thought about Indiana at being this kind of team, but all of a
No,
sudden they emerged as this kind of team.
again, it's that head coach is what it is.
All right, let's take a look at the NFL. Who do you like?
Well, I'm going to fade two favorites here this week that I think are in bad letdown situations, or at least have the ability to play down to the level of their opponent. And it's not hard to do when you're taking on teams like I'm going to give you. They say, "Oh my God, get a clothespin out! How can I play these teams?" But the bottom line is the opponents are going to have difficult time, I think, focusing into them. The first is going to be the Cleveland Browns, taking 7 points from New England, and it's a football team last week in New England that went into Tennessee and got the win they wanted. They got it from Mike Vrabel, the Gipper, won impressively at Tennessee. The Browns come in here with the number one ranked overall defense in the National Football League, and they can certainly drag New England down to their level in this football game. If New England gets out of here with a win, they're going to be happy. I don't think New England has route potential in them. I think Cleveland plus a 7 is a nice, safe side in this football game.
A Cleveland on the road is not very good. Is that against the number, or is that just wins and losses?
It's straight up is what it is. They have a hard time winning football games, but they hang to the number. Okay, and Stefanski, the head coach, who's done a nice job with Cleveland here, he's really, really terrible to the spread at home, but he's good to the spread on the road.
Wow, how about that? All right, who
Yeah.
else do you like?
That guy's going to be New Orleans taking 3.5 against Tampa Bay. And this is a Bucks football team that right now is sputtering, waiting for their bye week next week, and they're just gasping, looking for air to get to that bye week. They're losing players left and right. They've lost Mike Evans for the season here right now, and they can certainly play down to the level of New Orleans. And Tampa Bay, I might point out here, as good as they played, they've been out-yarded each of the last 3 football games in a row, which hence they're sputtering right now, leaking oil, getting into the football game here. I like New Orleans plus the points, and if they upset Tampa Bay, I'm not going to be stunned.
You know what? The Baker Mayfield is better, I think, against the number on the road. Is that
Yes,
correct?
he is. It seems to be a tendency. He started in Cleveland. I don't know what it is. Why the players play better away from their hometown than they do there. But Baker Mayfield has also struggled in football games and laying points. He's much better taking them.
You know what? Green Bay. I just can't figure them. Are they good? Are they good enough? Are they? And Aaron Rodgers says it's not a revenge game, and it's probably not. He's just going to go out and play because he likes Green Bay. But that's a big game for Pittsburgh. That really is a big game for Pittsburgh.
It's a huge game for Pittsburgh. Green Bay right now is carrying a lot of weight, and maybe they deserve what they've done. They've only lost one game. They've only been out-yarded one game in their so far this football season, and they are where they are because they played well. But you mentioned this is a huge game for Pittsburgh. This division is right there for the taking for the Steelers because there's nobody in this division that's any good, and Pittsburgh may just win just because of that, not because they're good, because everybody else is worse. And under the Sunday night lights, Mike Tomlin's a terrific home dog in his career in the National Football League. And I think we're going to find out why Sunday night here. Rodgers gets this win, and he will then have beat every NFL team he's ever played, all 32 teams. So that's another, if you
Wow.
will, reason for Aaron Rodgers to play this football
Can you
contest.
tell me why the Ravens and they're coming off a bye, I believe, are a 7.5 point favorite against a Bears team that's played okay?
It surprises me. And when they announce, they make it official that Lamar Jackson is going to play, this number is going to go up even more. And you got to remember that this number opened where it was in anticipation of Jackson being ready to play. They padded the number to begin with on the opening number. It's going to get jacked up a little bit more once he's announced to play. And this football team is just flat out bad. Their defense is horrific. And just because Jackson comes, it doesn't improve the defense any at all for this Baltimore Raven football team. I think it's a horrible number here in the game. Name and reputation. And there's no team playing better right now, honestly, than the Bears in the NFL right now. 4 wins and covers in a row. I don't know what Ben Johnson's doing there, but this is a different Bears team we're seeing right now.
You know what? It's kind of interesting. So why is the number 7.5? I don't get it.
A name and reputation thing for Baltimore. Everybody in anticipation of Lamar Jackson, the MVP, coming back. I think it's a bad number. I really do.
Wow. All right. So the Eagles, and I said earlier, I don't like the number, and AJ Brown's not playing, and they'll miss the wide receiver. I think Devontae Smith's a better wide receiver, but that's not here and there. They're missing a really, really good, very terrific wide receiver. But I don't like the number. But there's no way. I don't even know what the money line is. There's no way I think the Eagles lose twice to the Giants in 3 weeks. No way. Your thoughts?
Well, they won't, simply just given the fact that they're playing poorly yet winning their football games. And, they can play poorly again here, at least statistically on the field, and lose the yardage as they've done every game this season, yet
Yeah.
still win this football game. The New York Giants, the question here is, can they get back up off the mat after the disaster that happened to them in Denver, their last football contest here? I mean, 33 to nothing in the fourth quarter, that's ludicrous. I think that this is a classic game where Philadelphia wins, but the other team gets the money.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to. They're not. I just can't see them covering the number. And like the the Eagles have the games they've won, they've out turnovered. They've been plus in the turnover ratio. The Giants don't turn the ball over, then it's definitely within the number. Definitely.
Good point. Yeah, the Eagles can, if they can win the turnover battle, which they likely will. They're the
Yeah.
better football team.
Yep.
Take them right to the winner's circle.
Yeah. It's just Mark. I want to touch on players. Doesn't it amaze? It's when I ask a question, I know the answer. How amazing is it that a player who's making $26 million is worried about making what 50 or $100,000 on a basketball game? Are
Well,
you
you talk
kidding
about
me?
Rozier. I mean,
Rozier, yeah,
yeah.
Terry
Well,
Rozier.
I think you'll find that Rozier didn't make that bet. He made that. He told his friend that he's not going to play, a lifelong friend. He just said, I think it was more like, "Hey, you're my friend. You want to make a little bit of money? I'm gonna beg out of this basketball game early." It wasn't a bet for Rozier. It was a bet
Oh,
for his friend. But still, it's ugly. It's not any good. And I think the bottom line to this whole fiasco, Adam Silver has got to step up here. He's got to clean the slate for the NBA, and in doing so, they're going to have to eliminate betting props on players from the legal U.S. sports books. That's going to have to happen because we can't risk players. Major League Baseball, a pitcher. A prop on throwing a ball or throwing a strike is ridiculous. A pitcher can throw one hop the ball to the in front on home plate, and there's a ball, and everybody walks away with the money. You can't have player props where they themselves determine the outcome of that prop.
you know what? I don't know how they're going to. It's so much money in it. I don't know how the leagues are going to force them to eliminate because the leagues are getting so much money from these sports books. How can they
Well,
eliminate the
that's the
prop
other side
bets?
of it, the ugliness of the ESPN situation involved in the whole thing. They own a sports book, for crying out loud, and they're broadcasting all these games, and they're promoting their own sports book, broadcasting these games. That's sinful. That just is flat out ugly and should not be allowed. That has to come down too as well. ESPN, I feel, to keep this game clean, to keep this game honest, they should give up their sports book or at least sell the rights to it or something. But you cannot have ESPN broadcasting all these games, touting all the gambling parts of the game, and then have a sports book you're inviting them to come in and make the bet with. That just is flat out ugly, and it doesn't look right.
I just don't. I just don't think it's ever going to go. It's ever going to go away. ESPN, and then they advertise betting during the broadcasts of these games. Not just ESPN, but Fox has a relationship. They don't have their own sports book relationship with. I don't know if it's DraftKings or I don't know which one it is.
FanDuel or
Yeah,
whomever,
well,
right?
yeah. It's just how you're advertising during the game to make bets. What are you doing? The leagues, the NFL talks about, they all talk about integrity, which is such bullshit. You know, all they care about is, well, that's not all they care about, but they care so much about the money. If they say, okay, we'll cut out the prop bets, but we're not going to spend as much money with you. We're not going to, instead of 20 million, we're only going to spend 10 million. That's the end of that. The
Well,
conversation's over.
it's a case where it's going to be the goose that killed the golden egg that they're laying here. That's letting these teams get away with betting and, if you will, at least promoting betting in the course and throughout their games here. I asked this question. I posed this on a podcast that I did about in Europe, where sports betting has been legal much earlier than it has been here in the U.S. And we don't read a lot about betting situations like this, scams and fixed games and so forth and whatnot. But it's going on in Europe, and it goes on in soccer games, which we don't follow closely here in the U.S., but it does happen in soccer games. So there's got to be better regulation about allowing the marriage of betting and professional sports to work together here. And they have to set up rules. They're going to have to end up cleaning this whole business up because it's a bad black eye look for the whole world of Major League Sports right now.
What people should do is just bet to have fun. If you're betting to try to get rich, you're going to bury yourself. You're going to bury yourself. It just that's not the way it should work. So, what do you think? If you identify, I think you said it. If you had to identify the biggest problem with sports betting as far as professional athletes is what?
Well, in college football, the biggest problem is going to be allowing these kids to be able to bet sports. The players, the NCAA is going to support that.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Unbelievable.
The NCAA supports they're allowing their players to bet games.
They're going to allow the players to bet. Now they're saying not football games, but you can bet other sports. Well, that's like saying, we've got cocaine here. You can't use the cocaine, but come on in and take a look around and, leave with what you want to leave with. It's the same thing. You can't allow college sports athletes to bet on games, but not their own games. How long is that going to last? And how many situations are we going to have like this? I don't know who's running the ship here, tending the store or whatnot, but things have got to change, and an iron fist has to happen in the world of legal sports
Okay,
gambling.
so if you told the leagues this is what you need to do, it would be what?
If I told them that this is what you need to do, I would do the first thing I would start with is if any athlete that plays professional sports is caught betting on the game, they're banned for life. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I think they already have that.
Well, it wasn't enough to scare Rozier,
Right.
Phillips, perhaps, or whomever it's happening with. That has to be mandatory to do something just like that. But there has to be a governing body to overlook all of this, not just a team. The teams aren't going to watch themselves and report themselves as being guilty of a
Yeah.
fiasco. There has to be a better integrity body to monitor all this stuff, and they have to do their checks and balances too. They have to check in, report, and follow all of what's going on with the activity of these players here. It's got to absolutely be cleaned up, and Adam Silver has to be the guy to lead the charge because if for no other reason, it's the NBA at the front of this latest scandal that we're talking about right now.
Would you put prop bets at the top? Banning a player is just lip service. Would you put prop bets at the top to eliminate prop bets?
Absolutely. Because the players, then can control and dictate the outcome of that, and then they can set everything up for the ugliness and controlling the result of that bet.
You know,
Exactly.
I see a comment here, and I don't know what her position is. There's a woman named, according to this, and I know there's a woman, Erin Dolan, Erin. I guess is the spelling, who's a sports tout for ESPN. She's dating a Phillies player. I think ESPN they know about it and they're looking into it. If she's a sport, and nobody talks about betting baseball, but still, that's just not a good look either.
No, Howard, there's insider trading is not allowed in the world of the stock market, but people get inside information like this errand for her boyfriend passing along. That's okay. People feel like, oh, okay, we'll go out and we'll take advantage of that. But in the stock world, you're going to end up in prison for doing stuff like this.
I
And
know.
there has to be those sort of penalties.
It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. All right. If people have interest in Mark's services, 800-321-7777 or on the internet, playbooksports.com. All right, Mark, you have a great week and we'll talk again next week.
Enjoy the games, Howard. Be well. Take care.
All
Bye bye.
right. Thanks. You know what? I see a lot of comments here. I knew there was somebody dating, and I believe it's Alec Boehm. And there was I saw a story somewhere. I didn't realize I thought she was just a reporter. I don't know if she was a sports tout. And if she's just a reporter, that's, it's okay. I mean, I guess it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I have no problem with that. It's just, oh boy. All right. So I want to thank, as always, he's such an important part of this program. Stillwell Financial Advisors, Jeff Stillwell, for being a big, big, big part of this show, but he could be a big part of your financial future too. Stillwell Financial Advisors, 732 343 0813. Also, before I talk about the other people that are important to this program, our winner last week of the pair of Oakley sunglasses. And the question was, Rich Gannon talked about, I asked what the biggest problem that the Eagles, biggest issue that the Eagles have. He said the integrity of the running game. And there was a few people, more than a few people that had the right answer, but selected at random. Rich Gentile, congratulations. You have won a fine pair of Oakley sunglasses, and thank you. Now, I'll have a question for this show that where you can win a gift certificate to Chickies and Pete's. Now, if you answer the question correctly, by midnight Monday, it's midnight. It would be midnight on Tuesday. And so I see midnight on Tuesday. Let's say I'll give you till Tuesday because the show's not until Wednesday. Midnight on Tuesday. If you answer the question, go to howardeskin.com and then we'll announce it on the show on Wednesday, October 28th, 7:30. Either whether it's X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube notifies you as soon as we go live, but you can always find it on YouTube. Winner will be chosen at random. Stopped off at Chickies and Pete's yesterday. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the was probably no, it was Thursday. Stopped off at saw Pete, saw everybody there. Nice crowd there on Thursday night. But you can win a gift certificate to Chickies and Pete's. So one of my questions earlier, since players talk about unretiring, what player, and I saw some comments here that you would like to see. There's an edge rusher out there. It's still in his 40s. Why not ask him to come back too? Just get another one. It's just once a guy retires, it's not like I think Gale Sayers retired. I don't think he was hurt. Barry Sanders just said, I've had enough of the game, and he could still play, but he had enough of the game. But those are the kind of things that it's tough for a player to come back. I wish the best for Brandon Graham, but he went out on top, really on top. But players that, and you can click on the link and join the program. Players on top, like, why would you come back? Hey, listen, if you didn't have a great career and you have a chance to come back to a good team, and a chance to win something, why not? But if you've won something, I don't know that I would go that. I don't know that I would go that route to worry about coming back, and it can't be about the money because if you're coming back and you're that good, you probably made enough money. It's just. And Adam Silver, I mentioned earlier, Adam Silver worried about the integrity of the game. Well, when players take off games and they take off, and what happened to the players that play with a little bit of a nagging injury? Doesn't happen anymore. Doesn't happen anymore. It's just the NBA. Everybody's so excited that they're early in the season. There's been some good games. That's because nobody plays defense. These scores are outrageous. In the NBA. I'm surprised the Sixers tonight, which is Saturday night against Charlotte, they're only a 5.5-point favorite. Embiid had a terrible game. I just don't. I think he is, from what we knew of Joel Embiid. I think he's pretty much done. They have a couple of exciting guards. That's great. Paul George will be up and down. Who knows whether Paul George. What an awful, awful, awful contract that Paul George signed. What an awful contract. Terrible. And as I said earlier, I just don't think there's any way that the Eagles lose this game. I'm not laying the number, but I don't think there's any way the Eagles lose this game. Somebody said Steve Carlton come back. I don't think. You know what? I don't think he's not coming back. I mean, why do I even address that? But I didn't realize Yarmir Yager is still playing at 52 years of age. Now he's playing overseas. He can still he can still play. Uh, by the way, Ben Simmons is not retired, so I don't know that he would unretire. So he's not. Somebody's just doing that as a laugh. Uh, it's just it's brutal. I mean, it's just it's just hey, people. Did you forget about Trent Cole, edge rusher? He's only 43, lives in the area. Why not have Trent Cole come back? Yeah. Somebody asked Trent Cole, hey, would you like to come back? Well, yeah, I'd think about it. I think about it. Did I see that loser Cowboy Jim wanting to join the program? Oh, okay. Yeah, see, he didn't call. He didn't call after the Cowboys lost to Carolina, but he did after the Cowboys won last week. Shocking that
Well,
you missed that week.
maybe I have things going on. You don't know. Maybe
Well, I know you have things going on.
things going on.
You didn't want to deal with the Cowboys lost to Carolina.
All right, that's just okay. That's in the past. But
Yeah,
look
but
what
you
we
did. Well, wait a minute, but you didn't want to deal with it. Am I correct?
No, it's not true. That's not true. I was just working. That's all right. Just didn't have time. Or
Okay.
maybe I was walking my dog. I don't remember, but there was probably some reason why I didn't call.
Oh, okay.
All right, wait, listen, moron. Listen, first of all, you're saying that the Giants 100% are going to win this game.
No,
There's
they're
no
going to lose
AJ
the
Brown.
game. No.
No,
The Giants, you just said the Giants are going to win the game.
right. But I'm just saying.
What I said, let me clarify because you misstated that. I clarified there's no way the Eagles lose this game to the Giants.
Why do you say that? AJ Brown is not playing.
So what? You don't lose to a division team if you're a good team, and the Phillies are the Eagles are a good team. They're not as good as last year, but they're still a good team. You don't lose to the same team twice in 3 weeks. That's why the NFL sets that up.
The Eagles have a losing record when AJ Brown doesn't play. They have a losing record.
Okay, you're already into me for 100 for 100 or 200 for charity. I don't know if it's 200. Okay, you want to go double or nothing?
No, I'm not going to do that. But everybody keeps saying, oh, the Cowboys are playing the Broncos. Oh, the Broncos have this great defense. How many points did the Broncos give up to the Giants? They gave up a lot of points to the Giants. Oh. And look at the Eagles. They gave up 34 points or something like that. They gave up 34 points.
Each game is unto itself. It's unto itself. All right. You can't base it on. You can do it statistically. It's just.
But the Eagles have a lot of injuries. There's a lot of injuries going on for this weekend, and for you to sit there and go, "Oh, it's a lock." It's a lock that the Eagles win.
I'm not with the number. Not with the number. The Eagles absolutely, positively, 100% will win this game on Sunday.
And the Cowboys will put up 52 points. I'm going to say 52 points. And
on who?
On the Broncos. They're gonna put up 52 points. They're going to put up a lot of points.
You want to go double or nothing on that?
No, I'm not going to bet. I only bet at the stock market. I only bet with the stock market. I don't bet with sports.
Where did you come up with a number like 52? There's no way they're going to score 52.
They're going to score every time. Every time they have the ball, they're going to have to score because their kicker is going to make like 70, 80-yard field goals.
Aren't they? Isn't that game in Denver?
Yes, it's in Denver. And
you're going to score on the road. They're going to score 52 points.
Yeah, they're going to score 52 points.
Not a chance. The total on the game is only 50 and a half, you nitwit.
How many points? Look at what the Giants and the Broncos put up. They put up out there. The Giants scored a lot of points, and the Cowboys have the best offense. They have the best offense in the NFL. Dak Prescott, Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Williams.
Yeah. Great.
They are. That's Super Bowl, man. That is Super Bowl.
Wait a minute. You want to go double or nothing on that?
No, I'm not going to go double or nothing on that one. I'm not going to do that one.
Super Bowl. What are you? Are you on drugs?
Listen, they get the right defensive players. Jared Joe makes the right moves for defense. DeMarvion Overshone comes back. They've got if they can put the defense together, unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Okay. Okay. You are out. I mean, you're
Come
sick.
on, come on. What am
No,
I?
you're a dope.
Look at what they did to Washington. Look at the Cowboys did to Washington.
Washington's got some issues right now.
Well, everybody's got issues, but
Uh,
but they stopped Daniels. They stopped him. He didn't. They weren't. So the defense is coming back around, and
well, Daniels has been hurt. That's another thing.
well, he played up until like the third quarter. So don't just say that.
You know what? I have a comment here. Uh, uh, Eco, Dak is great when nothing is on the line.
That's not that's not true.
He doesn't
That's
win in
not
the playoffs.
okay. Well, let's get to the playoffs first. All right. We're talking about this season. We're not talking about past. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about this season. And
Uh,
he's an MVP quarterback, top three. So he's looking really good, really good.
you are an idiot. Do you know that? You are an idiot and a dope and a moron.
Well,
You're pathetic.
sorry about your dog. Sorry about your dog.
Yeah,
So,
that's at
yeah.
least you said something nice.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's just
All right.
it's
All right.
tough.
Go Cowboys. Let's go Cowboys. Eagles stink. The only way the Eagles
Well, the
win
Eagles don't stink. They're not as good as last year, but
the
they
only
don't
way the
stink.
Eagles win games is when the other team turns the ball over. That's the only way. So don't sit
That's
there.
part of
They
the,
don't
that's part of the game.
they don't blow anybody out. They don't blow anyone out.
Okay, if you had to pick for the Cowboys, since people talk about unretiring now, and it looks like, and Brandon Graham did it, who would you like to see unretire for the Cowboys?
Where? Remember what was it?
DeMarcus Ware?
DeMarcus Ware. I'd like to have
You
him
couldn't
come back.
remember his first name. I had to remember it for you.
Well, it's been a while, okay?
I tell you, there's something wrong with you. All right. See you, nitwit.
Bye, dope.
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 See you. Bye. I see a comment here. Unretire. WIP should ask all the former hosts to unretire and bring back its glory days. It sucks these days. Well, sucks is a strong word. They're just it. Sports talk radio is just not as good. That's why radio is dying. That's why, it's just hard to get into radio the way, and people aren't going to unretire. But if they left, they left. It's just not the same, and it's sad. I think it's sad that radio is dying, and it's sad that radio is dying because that was, I started in radio. I elevated my career in radio, a station before WIP. Did the first sports talk show there to try to help that move forward. Whatever the case, it is just not the same. People say the same nonsense. It's good cop, bad cop. It's the same nonsense all the time, which is kind of sad because sports talk radio is it's just not as good. And radio in general. Do you have to listen to radio for music? No. Podcasts. Do you have to listen to radio for news? No. You can go to a podcast. You just and it's the same news when there's no news. It's over and over and over and over. It's just people get in their car and they plug their phone in and they listen to a podcast. It's an amazing world how much it's changed, and the numbers on podcasts are good. The numbers you read on radio numbers, the ratings company, I'm not going to mention their name, gets paid by the radio station. Now, some radio stations decided they're not going to pay them to use the service, and then they can't use them when they sell to sponsors. Well, so they make the numbers good, so they'll pay for it to use them. I don't believe any of the numbers of the ratings, very few of the numbers, I shouldn't say any, very few of the numbers of rating services nowadays, because they need the business from radio stations. They got to keep them happy. So you want to make the numbers look good for radio stations. I don't believe so much of it. It's kind of sad, but it's all because of this one comment about WIP. It's just not the same, and it's too bad. Well, nobody came up with some good names. All right, I'm going to give you the names if you want guys to unretire. Okay, you know what? If let me know if Dan is ready, and I'll try to take Dan. Here are the guys to unretire: Brian Dawkins, he's only 52. Jason Peters, Clyde Simmons, he's 59. Eric Allen's going to be in on Sunday. He's being honored as the captain. Only 57 years old. They need a corner. Hugh Douglas is only 54. And Trent Cole is only 43. There you go. You got an edge rusher. It's unbelievable. Now, where did this comment come from? Love how Skinny Joey would listen to Howard in the can. Did he say that? Did Joey say that? You listen to me everywhere. Yeah, well, you can listen to me. You used to listen to me on Saturday mornings. You're listening to me on Saturday morning now. I'm just not on the airwaves that are dying. I'm telling you, there's automobile manufacturers that are going to cut out the AM band in their car radios within the next year or two. Somebody asked about my son. I think he's talented and does a good job, but radio. It's a fact that radio is dying. All right, was that caller ready, Joe? Or okay, okay. If I take Tony, I'm taking him without the camera. Can you do that, Joe? Because he can't frame himself up. It's just okay. Okay. All right. Let's talk to Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
Hi there, King.
What's happening?
I think AJ Brown can take a seat and bring back T.O. He's in shape and he wants to get those receiving yards to make that trophy that was on that list. Remember?
You know what? I didn't know he needed. What does he need? 2 yards or?
Two more catches, and I think he breaks Jerry Rice's record.
Really? Well, then you ought to bring him back. That's not a bad idea. You're not getting rid of AJ Brown. Hey, stop. Yeah. It's just you're not getting rid of AJ Brown, so don't even think about it. It's just all right. You're breaking up there, Tony, and that's hard to do. Got a bad signal there, big guy. You got a bad signal. I got to move on. You got a bad signal. Unretired Dr. J. It says in retire. What's it? Evolution Philly band in retire. You said it's unretire. That's all right. It's a typo. I'll give you the typo. You can't make a player play who's injured. So somebody says make AJ play. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's just. Let me see if there's any other comments I want to address before we move on for the weekend. They just need to find more talent. Oh yeah, not that easy to do. Somebody brings up Josh Innes. Yeah, Josh created. I still communicate with Josh. He's been a good guy to me, but he had his challenges. He certainly really did have his challenges, and that's why Josh Innes isn't there. But it's just the overall talent. Just the overall talent is the problem. All right, let me give you the question. If Mark Lawrence, one thing, the top thing, and he kind of danced around a couple of things, the top thing that the leagues need to do to stop these players from gambling on their own sport, they shouldn't gamble at all. If they want to go, actually, if you want to bet the table games and you do that, but if you get stuck good money, you never know who you might meet there, and you never know who you can get involved with. If you're making great money, what do you need to do that for? But he said, ban the guys for life, tell them they're banned for life. They pretty much know that. There was one other thing he said, Mark Lawrence, that he thinks the league should do. I don't think it'll ever happen, but if you come up with that answer, what he thinks the leagues need to do, that would help stop players from gambling, submit it to my website, howardeskin.com, and you can win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. Mark Lawrence just sent me a text. Like insider trading, they should be subject to imprisonment if caught. But, then you got to make up new laws. Hell, we can't even enforce the laws in this country that need to be enforced in certain situations within the government. So I don't know how you can do that. It's a simple answer, but I don't know. I don't know how you can do it. And let me just a shout out to the government workers who aren't getting paid. I feel bad. I worry about the air traffic controllers. I mean, one of the most important jobs in the United States, in America, but in America, one of the most important jobs is an air traffic controller. And to stress those people out is such a mistake. The people in Congress and the Senate, and the Senate and Congress, they shouldn't be paid. If there's a government shutdown, they shouldn't be paid either. But I feel bad, but all those government people aren't getting paid. I really feel for you. I'm on your side. Trust me, I'm on your side, and I don't know who isn't on your side. So, just my point there. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. I saw some. And by the way, I do want to mention on the social media, I've had so many people respond to the passing of my best friend, Lila, my little doggy, who left the other day. I want to thank those people for all their nice. There's been more than I could ever imagine. So many nice responses. There was comments here this morning from people. I just can't thank you enough for all your nice responses. She'll be missed by a lot of people. The vets miss her. Obviously, the family misses her. And dogs, it's amazing how important dogs are to our lives. And I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I miss my little Lila. What a good little girl. All right. Thanks for joining us this morning. Every time I think about her, I get, it's just so tough. I want to thank Joe Gangemi for helping us technically on the other side. Tony Anastasia for all the great graphics that are put up. Oh, by the way, just I put up my picks page. Yeah, I added Lila. I've lost. There's one other dog that I've lost too, but I've lost. Lila's the one on the left. It's Lila, Lionel to left to right. Lila, Lionel, Jack, and Bear. And Demon was my first doggy. Lost him, but they're all so nice. But my picks page is up, and it's posted on social media. And again, the donations for these picks, it's a special weekend for me because it's always special to benefit Brandywine Valley SPCA and Providence Animal Center. And your donations for the picks go to those people. And I really, really sincerely thank you. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks to all our partners, Stillwell Financial Advisors. Thanks to Audi Westchester with a great finance deal going on right now. Thanks to, there it is, 3.99%. You can't beat it. Can't beat it for redesigned new automobiles. You see them there. And thanks to Piazza Property Pros for being an important part of this program. And they can help redesign your property. Give them a call, 610-566-2608. Thanks to everybody for joining the program. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you and talk to you on Wednesday. Take care. Have a great night and a great day.